Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Easy podcast for a better life. I'm Emma, and as always, I'm joined by my fantastic co-host, George. How are you doing today, George?
Hey, Emma. I'm doing great, feeling energized and ready for today's topic. How about you?
I'm doing well, too. Today, we talk honestly about something everyone feels: comparing ourselves to other people. This isn't just about jealousy, it's about how we see our own worth.
If you are listening and think, I always compare myself, please know this. You are not weak or broken. Your mind learned this from life, from evolution, your culture, and your past. Comparison is not a personal mistake. It is a deep mental habit, something you do without thinking.
Yes, a psychologist named Dr. Leon Festinger had a big idea about this in 1954. He said we naturally want to evaluate ourselves to see how good we are by looking at other people. This is especially true when we are not sure of our own progress. The real question is not do we compare, but how do we compare? And who do we compare to?
And when this happens automatically, all the time, it can slowly damage our confidence, our happiness, and our sense of direction in life. Today, we will understand where it comes from, how it works in our brain, and how to change our relationship with it.
Let's start at the very beginning. A long time ago for our ancestors, comparison was a tool for survival. As people who lived in groups, they needed to know, am I safe in this group? Could they push me out? Their position in the group, their status meant access to food and safety.
A brain scientist, Dr. David Rock, talks about this in his SCARF model. He says status, our feeling of importance compared to others, is one of 5 big social needs for our brain. A threat to our status, like feeling less than someone, causes a real stress chemical release in our body. It's a biological reaction.
This old wiring in our brain gets its personal story in childhood. Science about how children develop shows that our idea of who I am forms by looking at others. When a parent says, "Why aren't you like your sister?" or a teacher praises only the best student, a strong connection is made, conditional worth. This means you feel you are only good enough if you meet certain conditions.
So, love, approval, and safety feel connected to how well you perform compared to others. The brain learns a dangerous idea. My value equals how I measure up. We are not blaming anyone. We are just understanding the story that was written for us. As writer Mark Manson says, we learn to judge ourselves not by our own feelings, but by an outside, always changing target.
Now, let's go to today. We think comparison is about cars, jobs, or how we look. But really, it's a problem of identity, a crisis of who you believe you are. When you scroll on your phone and feel that bad feeling, you are not just seeing a holiday photo. You are secretly asking big life questions. Am I living the right life? Does my story matter? Am I good enough?
This creates a basic fear, the fear of being left behind. It's the modern FOMO, fear of missing out. A social researcher, Dr. Brené Brown, calls this a culture of scarcity, the constant feeling that I am not hoppers enough. We accept invisible rules about when we should be successful, married, or have achievements.
Now, meet the biggest tool that makes this faster: social media. A researcher, Dr. Ethan Cross, calls it a comparison super factory. His studies show that passive scrolling, just looking at others' perfect, chosen lives, makes people feel more depressed and lonely. Why? We make a mental mistake that psychologist Dr. Tim Bono calls the internal external bias. We compare our messy, real life behind the scenes, the internal, to everyone else's perfect public highlight reel, the external.
With numbers and facts, this creates a false reality. As author Rolf Dobelli writes, we fall for the survivorship bias. We only see the winners, the businesses that succeeded, the famous people, not the huge unseen group of people who did not succeed. Our brain wrongly thinks success is normal. This makes our own life feel not good enough.
Let's see what happens inside. When we compare ourselves to people we think are better, brain scan studies show it activates areas linked to pain and danger. Your body has a stress reaction to a thought.
This long-term, low-level feeling of threat leads to anxiety, bad sleep, and what Emma called burnout. That means complete emotional and physical tiredness. We sometimes think, this jealousy will push me to try harder, but fear is a bad fuel for a long journey. It uses up all our energy. As author Susan David writes, some discomfort is normal for a good life, but the suffering from constant comparison is like a tax, a payment. We can choose not to pay.
Here is a very important idea. Comparison often hides what we truly want. When you feel envy for someone's perfect freelance life, you probably don't want their exact job. You want the feelings their life seems to have: independence, creativity, freedom. The thing you compare yourself to is just a symbol. The thinker Alain de Botton says we must separate the real human need, for example, respect, from the loud social symbol of it, like a very expensive car.
And this cycle creates harsh self-criticism, the voice that says you are not good enough. We are angry with ourselves for falling behind. But Dr. Kristen Neff's important research on self-compassion, treating yourself with the same kindness as a friend, shows that self-criticism makes things worse. It activates the brain's threat system and stops learning. Being kind to yourself, she found, leads to more motivation, strength to recover from problems, and happiness.
Stopping is not about fighting the thoughts. It is about consciously choosing a different direction. It is a practice, like learning a skill. Step 1. Name the feeling, the pause. When you feel that comparison feeling, don't fight it. Just say, here is my comparing mind. Give the feeling a name. This is envy, or this is insecurity. Brain science shows that just naming a feeling makes it less powerful. A psychiatrist, Dr. Dan Siegel, says, name it to tame it.
Step 2. Ask better questions. The look inside. Use this simple method from therapy and mindfulness. What exactly am I comparing right now? For example, their seeming productivity. What does this make me believe about myself? For example, I am lazy. Is that belief 100% true? What do I really need or want that this feeling is showing me? For example, a feeling that I am doing good work.
Step 3. Define your own success. Your own rules. Use an idea from Stephen Covey's famous book, Move from the Social Mirror to Your Own Inner Compass. That means, don't let society define success for you. Define it by your own values, what is truly important to you. Write down, what does a meaningful life look like for me? This makes the huge world of comparison smaller and personal.
Step 4. Find awe and remember connection, the bigger picture. 2 very helpful solutions. 1. Awe. Go look at the stars. A huge mountain, or beautiful art. Research by Dr. Daisha Keltner shows that awe makes our personal worries feel smaller. 2. Common humanity. Remember, the person you compare yourself to probably compares themselves to others too. The ancient philosopher Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." We are all sharing this human experience of wanting to feel worthy.
This is a journey. The habit of comparing won't completely disappear, but its power will become weak when you see it clearly and are kind to yourself.
To finish, here is wise advice from two people. The psychologist Carl Jung said, "The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely." Comparison is often a way to run away from that terrifying, but also freeing work of accepting yourself.
And the researcher, Brené Brown, agrees. She says belonging starts inside. True belonging is believing in and belonging to yourself so deeply that you can show your real self to the world without changing who you are to fit in.
Comparison doesn't just go away. It gets replaced by a purpose that comes from your values. It gets dissolved by self-respect that you build by being compassionate to yourself.
5 key ideas to remember. 1. Social comparison theory. Our natural wish to understand ourselves by looking at others. 2. Scarf model. How our sense of status compared to others is a basic need and can feel like a threat. 3. Internal, external bias. The mistake of comparing our private reality to others' public show. 4. Self-compassion. Being a good friend to yourself, which science shows is the best way forward. 5. Common humanity. Knowing that everyone struggles with comparison sometimes, you are not alone.
And that's everything for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and learned something new, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
Because your support helps us create more helpful lessons for you.
Stay motivated, keep practicing, and we will see you in the next episode.